It's a great day in the Antelope Valley. In 2016, we wanted to make a change in the world. The mayor came to us and said, we'll change it one bus at a time. I thought he was crazy. I still do, but we did it, okay? And I can't tell you how proud I am of staff. Staff is the one that made this happen. We told them to go do it. They did it. So it was very important. Let's give a big round to our staff. You'll hear from a lot of people today, so I won't take long, but I wanted to thank three people: Stella, Catherine Barger, and Mayor R.X. Paris. They're the ones that had the vision. They're the ones that went to China and brought a major manufacturer back to the United States and to the city of Lancaster, the first of its kind. Big round. I'll give you a couple statistics that I'm most proud of. 1,750,000 gallons of diesel not purchased that are still out there. Can you imagine the cost of diesel if we had used that? $2.5 million savings. It's big. And the most important, 40 million pounds of CO2 not in our atmosphere anymore. I'm going to turn it over to the CARB chair. That's the California Air Resources Board. Her name is Liane Randolph.
Thank you so much, Chair Chris. This is an exciting day. Governor Newsom was unfortunately not able to be with us today, so it's my pleasure to send his wishes and address you in his place. It's really an honor to celebrate this milestone for the Antelope Valley and for the state of California. Transitioning an entire fleet to zero emission technology, 100% zero emission, it's an amazing achievement. California's transit agencies have always played and will continue to play an important role in supporting local communities, improving the state's air quality, and mitigating climate change by deploying zero-emission vehicles. The Air Resources Board adoption of the innovative Clean Transit regulation in 2018 accelerated plans to make this transition and electrify transit across the state. And that regulation requires all California public transit agencies to transition their fleets to zero emission with a goal of fully transitioning by 2040. Antelope Valley, 18 years ahead of time. It's so remarkable. AVTA manages local fixed routes, commuter routes all the way to downtown LA, on-demand service. Each of those different service types has different challenges for electrification, and AVTA has met those challenges. And so AVTA is showing other transit agencies the real-world solutions that will demonstrate the innovation and imagination and the problem solving that it takes to make this transition. And we're really excited to lift up ATVA as an example for other transit agencies. And you have already begun to share these lessons by co-hosting the 2019 Zero Emission Bus Technology Showcase and Symposium with CARB and the California Transit Association. And early adopters like AVTA will help us achieve the transition in record time. We can fight climate change and clean the air in the communities most impacted throughout California. And the governor has made sure that this transition is supported by resources. In last year's $3.9 billion 3-year commitment in the budget set us on the path to do a number of big things. Close the 2025 light-duty infrastructure gap for both plug-in and hydrogen vehicles, greatly increase access to zero-emission vehicles for low-income drivers, and enable the adoption of over 1,000 zero-emission drayage trucks, 1,000 transit buses, and 1,000 school buses. This year's budget does even more. $6.1 billion over the next 4 years to a number of pivotal market segments, with a focus on driving equity and bringing this transition to scale. So that total 5-year investment in zero emission, $10 billion. So our proposed investments in medium and heavy duty will greatly expand zero emission drayage, transit, and school bus adoption, enable zero emission opportunities in the ports, and give California the tools it needs to be a leader. And there are substantial investments in community-driven mobility improvement as well. And AVTA, in going 100% zero emission, will provide an example of how that combination of regulatory action and state funding can help every transit agency get there. And I know Chad Edison from the California State Transportation Agency will talk more about that. And I also want to recognize the cities of Lancaster and Palmdale and LA County for sharing that same spirit of innovation and can-do commitment to clean energy solutions. I want to thank the AVTA Board of Directors, the entire amazing AVTA staff for bringing this to light and showing us all how local action can bring economic development, job growth, clean transportation, low carbon energy. Visionary and committed communities are the key to both our clean air and our climate solutions. So it is now my pleasure to introduce Chad Edison, a colleague from one of CARB's sister agencies that we are working closely with in this transition to zero emission. Chad is the Chief Deputy Secretary for Rail and Transit at the California State Transportation Agency and has been spearheading the Transit and Intercity Rail Capital Program, putting the proceeds from California's Cap and Trade program to good use for all Californians, especially those in communities hardest hit by air pollution. So, Chad?
Thank you so much, Chair Randolph, and thank you, Chairman Christ, for welcoming us all to AVTA today. This momentous day had its origin in the vision of Antelope Valley leaders long before the state adopted requirements to transition to zero-emission transit. I want to start by applauding the leaders from AVTA and the community who saw the value to zero-emission bus service and pushed ahead aggressively to pursue it. It's really good to be early and have that vision ahead of everybody else in a way that really stood out when funding opportunities were available. So I think that's a big thing to be moving on this early. Shortly after I arrived in California in 2014, Governor Brown in the legislature decided to continuously appropriate cap and trade auction proceeds in a variety of housing and transportation programs. In the California State Transportation Agency set up the Transit Intercity Rail Capital Program to fund innovative transit projects that would both decrease greenhouse gas emissions and increase ridership, using 10% of those auction proceeds. Later in 2017, SB 1 more than doubled the resources in TIRCP by appropriating a portion of the transportation improvement fee to our program as well. Between 2015 and 2020, we have awarded $5.8 billion to 74 projects around the state. And AVTA is one of only a handful in the state to have received funding in each of the 4 cycles to date. Altogether, AVTA and the application partners it brought along, it also brought along Kern Regional Transit and Sunline and Long Beach Transit, have been awarded nearly $53 million in state funds, starting with $24 million in 2015. Congratulations, that was a big way to get started, and that was in a round where we only had $225 million statewide. And Antelope Valley was able to get $24 million of that for your transition. But this isn't just a story about state funding. Without both local and federal support, the successful rollout of zero-emission services across a wide variety of service types, and that's a really interesting thing about what you've accomplished here, could not have been fully funded or operationally sustained. Thank you to all who have invested to show what's possible in California. Your experience serves as a model for other agencies in California and across the nation, and your lessons learned have been useful to others across the transit industry. And this agency is noticed on a national level. I've seen that, with FTA and others. It's very much, visible what you've accomplished here. Building on AVTA's success and in response to Governor Newsom's climate change executive orders, CalSTA and an interagency working group developed our Climate Action Plan for Transportation Investments, which we adopted in July of 2021. Highlighted in our strategies was accelerating the transition to zero-emission transit, including investments in facilities and the fueling and charging infrastructure. We are actively soliciting applications to TRCP that pursue that transition, and our 22-23 transportation infrastructure package in the governor's budget requests $3.25 billion additional in general fund investments to advance statewide and Southern California transit projects. When combined with the Air Resources Board's voucher programs and federal programs in the bipartisan infrastructure law, we look forward to more rapidly achieving the zero-emission future. We can beat that 2040 goal. I know you're not just here to hear speeches, so I'd like to wrap up by congratulating you all on this first in the state achievement. We look forward to continuing our partnership. Thank you, Chairman Christ, for inviting me to represent the state's past and future investments.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We have many partners in the room today, and I would be remiss if I didn't call out our union partnership. Eric? So he is part of the union. We have IBEW in the back. Dave. Both cities are committed to making this project work, and they're here by their representation. Austin Bishop, council member, City of Palmdale. Richard Loa, City of Palmdale. Ken Mann, City of Lancaster. Daryl Doris, City of Lancaster. Raj Mali, board member and City of Lancaster. And our mayor and leader, RX Paris. And now I'd like to call up someone that's been very instrumental in making this all work. The board was very apprehensive about making it work, but she bought us 2 buses to test. We filled them with sandbags, we filled them with everything. We could not have started this if it wasn't for the original starter seed that the supervisor's office got us. Your supervisor, Catherine Barker.
I thought you were introducing Mayor Rex Paris. I got a little nervous there. Wow. I'm just overwhelmed because I remember when. And Stella, thank you for bringing us all over and showing us BYD and what you could do and what you have done. So I want to thank you. And it truly is an honor and a privilege to celebrate this historic achievement with you. At the end of 2014 in October, many of the same folks who are gathered here today came together next door at the Fire Station 129 to celebrate the arrival of the first 2 zero-emission buses. It was a coalescing of a bold partnership, something that Rex is not shy about, always pushing us to always have those bold partnerships with our new neighbors at BYD and the folks at WAVE. That day kicked off a 12-month demonstration, really the proving ground, that would lay the foundation for a multi-journey that culminates here today. This journey was embodied the pioneering spirit and the forward-thinking goals of the Antelope Valley, and that's what I love about the Antelope Valley. People underestimate, all those people down below underestimate the Antelope Valley, but I'm here to tell you, you are the first, not only on this, but on many other things. It proves that what is possible when local leadership comes together with a common vision and, quite frankly, a purpose, a clean environment. In many ways, the Antelope Valley was always uniquely positioned and endowed to serve as a national leader in the transportation sector. For generations, this vast corner of LA County has played a central role in some of the most important scientific and technological advancements in aerospace and in defense. As a result, the Antelope Valley has developed a strong manufacturing base and a tradition of bold thinking. And I'm telling you, the best is yet to come. The Antelope Valley Transit Authority's leadership has clearly demonstrated the same anything is possible spirit through the chair, Marv Christ, and the current and past board members, as well as Macy and the previous CEOs involved in this effort. And let's give Macy a round of applause. And Martin, we know you are a great choice to continue propelling this agency forward, as you always played a critical role in this endeavor. A journey of this magnitude would not have been possible if it weren't for the strong partnerships that were forged along the way, repeatedly delivering both talent and treasure. I thank each of you for everything you have done. It is really about teamwork and working together. The California State Transportation Agency, you heard from Chad Edison. This is a man who is all over the state, but I can tell you he knows the Antelope Valley, and he knows what we're doing. And I have to tell you, he makes public servants look good, so I really want to give you a round of applause, Chad. Also, the California Air Resources Board, Chair Liane Randolph, thank you for being here. It makes a difference. Of course, the California Energy Commission, the California Public Utilities Commission, the United States Department of Transportation, we like getting their checks whenever we can. Our state and federal elected officials who are advocating on our behalf. And of course, BYD. Stella Lee, thank you. I keep saying it, but thank you. You are a force to be reckoned with. Don't let her size fool you. She does not take no for an answer. And of course, Wave Inc. I would also like to acknowledge the AVTA staff. This was an all-hands-on-deck effort from Judy Fry and her team on the financial and grant writing side. To all the operations and maintenance folks who have brought this from concept to application, we are in this together. Your efforts did not go unnoticed, and we value each and every one of you. Every person in the Antelope Valley and the Los Angeles County should be incredibly proud of the work today. AVTA has reached the top of the mountain and serves as a shining example of what is possible in the transportation sector throughout North America. I'm honored to celebrate along with you and congratulate all of us for this momentous moment. I have a proclamation, but I want to keep the moving, so we'll do it afterwards. But this is a proclamation acknowledging today the Antelope Valley Transit Authority, 100% zero-emission transit fleet. Congratulations. I'm proud to be a part of this team.
I'm looking for the check. Again, we have great partners. AVA QMD, Brett, Barbara, Newt, stand up. They've given us millions of dollars for our charging stations, so we appreciate them. But I do appreciate the board. Raj Mali, Diane Knipple, what's your name again? Michelle Flanagan, Catherine McLaren, alternate, and Richard Loa, also. I'd like to call up Richard Loa from the city of Palmdale to say a few words. Richard?
Good morning. How few is a few, Chairman? Well, I'm delighted to be here and to represent the great city of Palmdale. Avenue M is just south of us here, and it was called the Cactus Curtain. That cactus curtain has come down, and I'm committed that we keep it down. This example of AVTA reaching this milestone today is a magnificent example of how our communities can work together to serve all of the residents of the Antelope Valley. And what, thank you. What our Chairman Marvin Chris said, this is a great day for Antelope Valley. We want to work to keep it that way for many days, months, years, and centuries to come. And we can do it working together, both cities and the county. Thank you very much. We have a proclamation, and the check is in the mail.
I was looking for another check. Judy taught me that. It's very, very important. I think that she got us $129 million for this project. It cost a few dollars. I want to acknowledge Drew Mercy from the old Board of Trade, called the Edge now. So Drew, stand up. Two individuals that are very, very important for us, and one very important one for me, not discounting Martin. So Martin, stand up. He's our current CEO. Martin Tompkins. Macy Nishadi. You really all should be standing and applauding him, because he's the one that put us through this, that got us through this, the transition that it takes to put it through it. All guidance staff doing everything, listen to the politicians, listen to everything. Macy Nishadi. Thank you, everyone. And now, the person that this was the vision of. It was the vision of the mayor. It was the vision of him for his grandchildren. He wanted to make sure his grandchildren had a place to live, air to breathe. And if you've heard this story told, he tells it well. Hopefully he doesn't tell it again. Mayor R.X. Paris.
Thank you. You know, it's emotional for me. I remember that bus didn't exist. I mean, the technology did not exist to be able to drive all the way to LA and back without recharging. I mean, remember, Stella? It was created here in the Antelope Valley. You know, what we're now taking for granted, just a few short years ago, we were being laughed at, that it's not possible. Remember, Stella? And it was difficult for you because the competitors that were trying to get into the electric buses, they were telling everybody it's not possible because they couldn't do it. And Stella kept saying, we'll find a way. And we saw that when the labor issues developed. You know, it started down a path that nobody wanted to go, but you brought it home. And it was, let's work together, let's figure this out. And now you've given us over 600 mortgage-paying jobs. That is, your willingness to work with people and make things happen is just astonishing. You know, when the idea was, I mean, it looks like it was easy, but when we first approached AVTA and said, let's convert to electric, it was a hurricane. And there was 1,000 reasons not to do it, you know? And if I didn't have Marvin, you know, at my side, we wouldn't be here today, you know? He cajoled people. He was nice to people. He'd pull out a meat axe. He would. He was relentless. And trust me, it would not have happened without Marvin to make it happen. What we've set out to do in the Lancaster and now the Antelope Valley with a couple council members that have crossed the curtain. Austin Bishop is one of them. Richard Lowe is another one. Is we want to create a template for the world to follow. That if you do this, our grandchildren can survive. We want to make it so easy that they can't say no. We started with the buses. Now we need to go to school buses. You know, think about what I remember in law school that I had a little Fiat and the windows didn't work, and a bus, I'd get behind a bus and it would fill with this diesel because the exhaust pipes were on the ground, you know, by the wheels. So the solution, they fixed it. They put the exhaust pipe up on the ceiling, on the roof. And it wasn't as bad, you know? That's what our kids go to school in. And when that bus takes off after dropping them off, or when it pulls up to pick them up, that diesel is what they're breathing. You know, it's tantamount to child abuse. I honestly believe that, because that exhaust is nothing but poison. A little bit of poison, but nonetheless, that's what it is. And the reason I'm bringing that up to you now is because today, if the people making the decisions make those decisions, we can replace all of those diesel buses in the Antelope Valley within months. So any of you who know people on school boards, call them up. Because the opportunity to do this will be gone in a year. I mean, the money doesn't last forever. They have programs, and they want cities that are willing to be shovel-ready, make it happen now. Isn't that how it works? We have these golden opportunities, and I'd like everybody, well, I guess it's not a building, is it? Everybody in this parking lot, if you know anybody on those school boards, talk to them, because it's essential. Thank you for coming. Thank you for supporting us. And thank you for seeing something that wasn't possible just a few years ago. Thank you.
When we started this, it cost us $1.57 a mile to move the bus. $1.57. When we went all electric, we saw it cost 31 cents a mile. When we added the carbon credits that we get for it, we make 23 cents a mile driving these buses down the road. That's the only bus company in the United States that's profitable. So it's all your leaders, everyone has made this happen. This is the showcase of everything. Just a little tidbit. It is also the only agency that allows all its seniors, all the handicapped, all the veterans, and all the school students to ride for free. So I'm going to call up, is Jake Lopez here? All the people that are giving presentations, can you come forward? Both of you. We'll start with Anna.
No, start with Donna.
We'll start with Donna. You guys can introduce yourself, and Macy's going to get the certificates.
Hello, everyone. I'm Donna Hill from the office of Senator Scott Wilkin. This is amazing. AV is amazing. I moved here in 2010. It gets better and better every year. So I want to thank everyone. Well, actually, I don't want to thank everyone. Senator Wilk from the state of California wants to thank everyone. Okay? Let me not get above myself. And for all the work that you've done, I know it's been a hard job, and teamwork makes the dream work. So congratulations from the state of California, Senator Scott Wilk.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anna Zarley, and I am with Assemblyman Tom Lackey's office, and we would like to say congratulations. But I would like to say to the mayor, thank you, because my grandkids live here, and this is going to be a better place for them. I don't have to worry about them, because I remember those school days, smelling all that. And my grandkids, this is going to be a very good place. I can move out of here if I want to, and leave them here knowing that they are going to be in a good place. So again, on behalf of the Assemblyman Tom Lackey's office, we'd like to say congratulations and thank you very, very much for thinking about the whole Antelope Valley. Thank you.
Congratulations. Well, greetings from Congressman Mike Garcia's office and my sidekick from Congressman McCarthy's office. What an exciting day. I think we all recognize that the Antelope Valley is the home of the right stuff. It's part of our history. It's in the fiber of who we are. We've been cutting edge and changing what's happening in the world for decades. But today, as a result of the partnership of so many of you that's already been mentioned, we're continuing to change the world, that we're leading in so many ways. And today, and the Green Initiative, and to be able to not only financially operate in a very wise and successful way, but to change our world. And so I want to say thank you to Macy for your leadership, Chairman Christ and your board, thank you. Mayor Paris and the Vice Mayor Loa, thank you. And for all of you who've been part of this today, that we're going to celebrate this because we're keeping the Antelope Valley moving in a very smart and wise way. So on behalf of Congressman Garcia, I want to say thank you and present the certificate. And do you want to share it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Jake Lopez with the Office of Congressman Kevin McCarthy out of Bakersfield. Just happy to say that we strongly support what's going on here. We were happy to write some letters of support for federal funding that we talked about. It's important for everyone to come together from cities, counties, state to build a better home. So we love Lancaster, and we're so happy to be here, and we love all of Antelope Valley. Appreciate you, and we're also, I don't have a certificate with you. I left it in my truck. I jumped in the hybrid to drive up here, actually, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good, but thank you all. Appreciate it. Great job, sir.
Yeah. All right, just hold on, one more. I'm going to represent City of Lancaster. I want to start with this. My grandfather used to say, there's nothing is impossible if we have right team and right leadership. So we got both. We have right team here and a great leadership here. So I want to thank you, Mayor Paris. Working with you as a council member is truly a blessing. I learned a lot. And Chairman Marvin Crest is a blessing to our community. And working as a AVTA under I learn every day, and this is truly a great leadership and great team. So on behalf of the City of Lancaster, thank you so much, guys. All right, thank you.
No check? Judy, write this down. Catherine in the City of Lancaster, no checks. Casey. Casey's the gentleman back there with the dog and the sheriffs. He rides our buses. He makes sure they're safe. Let's give him a big round of applause. Appreciate it. Okay, remember, it's about partnerships. It's about a community coming together. You saw those last two representatives from the congressional offices. All of you should call them tonight. Where are they at? All of them should call them and make sure BYD stays in business. BYD needs to stay in business. We have 1,000 people over there at BYD working. You can see their product. It's beautiful. It's great. We need to maintain that. So with that, we're going to take a couple pictures. We're going to feed everyone. Thank you for coming.